Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a phenomenal day. Quick look here at Solana, see what's going on. I am traveling for the weekend, so just keep that in mind. Apologize if there's any inconvenience of less analysis here, but I'll get through the important ones, specifically the coins that we have trades open with, specifically what Bitcoin short and Solana short, and I'll explain why we took those and more importantly, what these resistance ranges are all about. Because again, when it comes to testing a resistance range, for example, 210 as a round number is that previous high, and then we have a previous daily candlestick closure at 202. That implies 202 to 210 is that resistance range. We traveled halfway through that, and the price pulled back. So mainly the reason why we're taking a short with Solana, just so you know, to be completely clear, is basically because we're expecting Bitcoin to pull back. And again, Bitcoin, I don't think it's going to be a monumental pullback. Maybe 73, 74,000 is a better case scenario. But we look at this here, liquidation delta is at $12 billion for Bitcoin. That is insanely high. That means there's way too many long leverage trades going into the weekend. And that's just bad news, folks. I think taking a long into the weekend is a bad idea with us having three strong, solid green days the last few days. We're due to follow with the fourth red day. So today or tomorrow, I think we will see a bit of a reckoning. I don't think it's going to be, again, monumental pullback, but it will be significant enough to notice, at least for those high leverage shorts. Or, sorry, correction, high leverage longs, the late longs, essentially. So let's take a look here at Solana, see what's going on. I do want to say thank you so much again for being an awesome part of my life. A lot of you will consistently hit that like button, comment below. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. And welcome aboard, too. We got, 4 or 5 new members in our community yesterday. It was really awesome to be able to see that. I'm just happy to be able to help out in whatever way, shape, or form, and I appreciate you being part of my life. So let's take a look here. Quickly to note, from liquidation standpoint, and this doesn't necessarily incentivize the price to go to this level, but we have 180 to 185 is that next concentration of liquidation outside of the local areas here for some longs that are soon to have a bad day. Okay, so again, keep in mind, Solana's very strong. I'm not, one to usually bet against it, but there's a lot of factors involved, and the truth is, I feel like the regular market, the rest of the market's going to go down. And if we do take a look here at the kind of zooming in, we can see, of course, pretty solid amount right here. What each one of these lines is $1 billion. So two lines is a billion. So billion. There's a lot. Okay, I haven't taken the time to count it up, but this is a chunk of change down as low as 185 to 180. So just keep in mind that is present, that is there. What that also implies, to keep this in mind as well, it doesn't necessarily mean the price is going to go down because the liquidation is there. What causes liquidation to occur, of course, is people basing that off of support levels. So you got to recognize that low 180 range has a lot of support. So there's that too. But if we travel into that area, it's common to see a candle wick down and back up again, where market makers will just sweep those levels. We can see $3.5 billion now in liquidation delta for Solana. So we've seen a significant uptrend here in the last 3 days of liquidation. Once that gets to a too high level, it usually comes back. Bitcoin at 12 billion. Us close to about 3 to 4 billion with Solana, it would make perfect sense for the price action to cool off. Now, one of two things will need to happen for that to occur. When you see the price action pull back, it doesn't necessarily mean that the price is going to drop. It implies that these liquidation levels are getting closed because people are actually securing profits or forced to close their position at a loss. So those two things can occur to cause the price action to come down. Keep in mind the price doesn't have to come down for the delta to come down. It just takes a little while for it to cool off. So if that delta stays too high for too long, I'm confident in saying that we're going to see the price pull back here. Again, I'm still very bullish on Solana in the overall sense. In fact, let's take a look at the daily. You can recognize we're over all SMAs. We're over 70 on the RSI. Sorry, we're testing 70 on the RSI. Bitcoin is just barely above. And then we can see the money flow index increasing with stochastic pulling up. These are all very bullish signs. MACD is converging. There's really no reason to consider shorting this coin. And I know it seems very hypocritical for me to say that, but again, all this back-end data is kind of giving us indication the price should pull back. Will it happen today? Maybe not. We might see a last FOMO effort this weekend from a lot of folks, and then of course a reckoning come Sunday night when Asian markets open, or Monday morning when traditional markets open. Generally speaking, what goes up must come down, and I'm confident in saying here that this low 180s would seem probable, because if you see this red line on the chart, that's a previous area we had a lot of difficulty crossing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days almost in a row, we saw Solana could not close above 185. So what we need to presume moving forward is that that's going to be a likely support level for us if we come back down to that area. So that's good news. That implies that 185 is a good pivot point, a good consideration for a long if you were to consider one at that time, if that even happens. But I feel like it should happen based on how poorly Solana is responding to a small correction from Bitcoin. While it's done very well and gone up contrary to Bitcoin, it's starting to disalign itself. Okay, and oftentimes that will correlate with further price action to the downside. So let's take a look here. I'll update our fibs levels here in just a minute, folks. In fact, I guess I could do that now. I generally like to wait, but we can go ahead and pull that up here now that we have a tentative top. And again, you want to keep in mind, you generally want to wait for the daily candlestick to close before you draw out new fibs. But at this point, this gives us some perspective for this analysis and just letting us know the next key areas. Once again, 186 and 193 as two potential areas of retracement. We could see a pivot or a bounce from there. But again, I prefer not to speculate on a candlestick that hasn't closed yet. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the RSI. As we can see, we're under 70 on the RSI, generally a sign to take profit on a long position. So if you're in a long position in the low 190s, low 180s, try not to be too greedy, folks. I mean, you're going to let all your profits slip away. What's the point? Now, I could totally be wrong. The price may not come down, but with us getting below 70 here, it generally implies it's just a secure profit scenario. It doesn't necessarily mean you just short to the ground. It just tells us that, hey, don't be greedy, you idiot. Take profits when you can. And I'm not calling you an idiot. It's just that I've been that person myself many times, and it can be really easy to just get kind of just very stuck on stupid in the current market. While yes, there's some positive stuff going on, market makers want you to feel like it's comfortable to take a long at any given time. The truth is, we're in a transition right now, and I really feel comfortable in saying that Bitcoin's due to correct itself. Solana will do the same thing. Okay, we're in that position right now. It just makes sense. If you've heard of the pattern 3 white soldiers, we've had 3 strong green days. Today's a 4th potential red day. We should at the very least see a doji candle from Bitcoin. Anyways, MACD is starting to diverge, hasn't fully yet. Stochastic's giving us the indication that we want to turn around. While money flow index is still high, you got to keep in mind that's also including this significant uptrend, right? We've seen an increase in volume, which is very good. You generally don't want to short into that. But once more, when you have liquidation delta so stinking high here for too long, it has to come down. People are getting too greedy, and that's going to be corrected. That behavior will be corrected. Ichimoku Cloud, confirming here we're still in a good situation. In fact, this looks way better than Bitcoin. If you look at Bitcoin, while we're above the cloud in Bitcoin, the lagging span, the conversion line, those are all getting closer to the price action, whereas we're still free and clear here technically. So according to this conservative indicator, you could still leave your long position open and find more profit. I just don't think that's a good idea at this point, considering where we've come, where we've been. We look at overextension. We hit another 9 on TD sequential. We hit 2 9s in a row. Generally, when you have 2 overextended periods, it's followed by a cooling off period, right? Which is where we're at now. So I would say comfortably that we're due to see the 180s again. I don't know what area of the 180s based on local points of control here. 188 makes sense. I think that's just above our, I think our take profit target for our Solana short is in the 180 range, if I'm not mistaken. Let me quickly check that here. See here, Solana short, keep in mind very high risk, obviously, but 188.63. And again, I chose that area because it's just above this local point of control. A lot of times prices will bounce off that area of control, and in this case, the point of control is based on volume. We have the most amount of accumulation for Solana at 187. Okay, you can also probably see that reflected here as well. Right here we can see 187. This is basically open interest, and you can see a lot of folks are heavy in the 187 to 188 range. Okay. Either way, I'll post all this information on our playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. If you're not familiar, it looks a little something like this. Make sure you take advantage of our prize pool here too with Bitunix. Phenomenal exchange, folks. No KYC or VPN required. And they're offering up to 60K benefits for the top 20 users. So check that out. It's cool stuff. Link down below. If you've used my link to register in the past, you're automatically eligible. Just hit enroll now with the link down below. We'd be good to go. I do hope you have a good rest of your day, though. I want to say thank you again so much for being an awesome part of my life. We'll look forward to seeing you on the next video. Hope you have a good one. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.